What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA basketball show. Hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. That's to check out the entire show. And we roll on, Max. We move to 6 p.m. Eastern. South Carolina Upstate Spartans 3-11, 3-5 in the Big South at Radford Highlanders 11-7, 10-2 in the Big South. We're at Donald N. Dedmon Center in Radford, Virginia. We have Radford opening up as 9-point favorites. One book has added a hook and made it 9.5. This total opened at 132, and I've seen no movement here from what I am seeing. South Carolina Upstate has been on a COVID-related pause since January 15th, and it's really not as long as it sounds, right? They just missed 2 games. They have a very light schedule. When we last saw them, they'd lost 2 straight on back-to-back nights at home versus Hampton. They have 2 players averaging double digits in Tommy Bruner, who averages 14.5 points, 4.5 assists, and Everett Hammond, who averages 12.1 points per game. They score 67.4 points per game, hit 41% from the field, 35.2% from 3, and 72.1% from the line. Radford bounced back from an overtime loss at UNC Asheville on the first of a road back-to-back by defeating them the following night, 73-63. They've won 7 of 8 games. They have just 1 player averaging double digits in Famir Ali at 10.4 points per game. They have 9 players averaging double-digit minutes. They score 69.1 points per game. They hit 46.2% from the field, 30.3% from 3, and 67.2 from the foul line. It's their defense that is strong, allowing just 64.5 points per game. Max, little 6 p.m. Eastern Big South action for you. South Carolina Upstate, Radford Highlanders. Take it away.
Yeah, with South Carolina Upstate, plain and simply, they play their opponent's tempo, so that's definitely going to suit Radford. I think that they're also definitely no stranger to the 50-point scoring output on the road. So there is definitely some danger with South Carolina State, even at this large number, which I think is very big even for Radford. But the bottom line is, if you watch Radford this year, Radford's been an ATS gem. Now, can they be an ATS gem at this number? That's a different story. The problem with them and at this number against this opponent is just 3-point defense. You know, when you're allowing your opponent to drop 9 or 10 3-pointers a game in conference against you, you know, you're going to have somewhere between 30 and 40% percentage. And I think that's one of the major flaws in Radford's defense. And if you play a team that can take advantage of that, well, then they can probably stay in it the whole way. Well, with South Carolina Upstate, they got a couple guys that can do that. And I've watched this South Carolina Upstate team because they are being coached remotely. And I thought that it was a very interesting concept that I'd never seen before because we never had a worldwide pandemic. But with USC Upstate, Bryson Mozone and Dalvin White are definitely capable of giving you that X factor offensive performance from the 3-point line specifically. Both of them are different kinds of players, one being more an athletic wing and one being a more ball handling, sometimes combo guard. I think that when it comes down to it, this is going to be the biggest challenge and the biggest conundrum of figuring out where you want to go on as far as the side. With Radford, this is definitely a team that does better in first halves. We've seen some comebacks made on them, most recently against UNC Asheville, where they ended up losing the game in overtime by, I think, double digits. So Radford in the first half, Jim, is a play that I want to get on. I want to get on them anywhere between 5 and 7 points. And I think that with Radford, the keys to them being able to get off to a good start and hopefully being able to go wire to wire on this game is you got to make the most of your limited attempts from the field. You are going to slow this game down. You are going to limit possessions. You cannot take bad shots, and you cannot get all hung up on trying to make threes. When Radford's at their best offensively, Jim, they are scoring volume free throws, and they are scoring close proximity shots. I think that there's a major advantage that they can utilize on the offensive glass, with Nevin Zink pretty much being the only guy that I have to worry about containing. I think that this is an area of concern for Radford, and another area of concern, which is the glaring one aside from the three-point defense, is the turnovers. If you give Tommy Bruner and Everett Hammond opportunities to get out on the fast break, it could lead to points, and it could make it harder to separate as far as a scoring margin. I don't think that it's going to be the case, at least in the first half. And as long as Radford gets the rim, is not becoming three-point obsessed and three-point oriented, crashes the offensive glass with guys like Lewis Jonkum, Shirey Walker, and Mangum and Josiah Jeffers. They got lots of different guys. This Radford team, they can go 11, maybe 10 deep on a regular basis. So you don't know who you're going to see out there, but you can definitely be sure they're well coached, they understand their system, and they play defense first. This is a game where I got to take the under, Jim, and I got to make you hunt for a good first half line in the morning for me.
Well, let's do that. First off, let's get your under. And we're getting a 131.5 at -108 at FanDuel. Let me see if I can beat that here. 131.5 at -110 at Circa. And can't beat it there. And let's try BetMGM for a last-ditch effort. And no. So 130 under 131.5 at -108. How's that sound?
Well, it's a worse number than I got, but it is what it is. So
yeah, sorry about that. That sucks. Yeah, because there's 132s now that I see. I just can't get one. That's disappointing. And I apologize. Do we pull the trigger?
yeah, we'll pull the trigger.
Okay. So under 131.5 at -108. That's at FanDuel. And too bad Circa couldn't come through for us. All right. We are in business here. 6 p.m. Eastern. South Carolina Upstate, Radford, under 131.5 at -108 at FanDuel.